Have you ever carried something so heavy inside your heart that it shaped every step you took, every choice you made, and every dream you abandoned? What if the greatest strength in life is not in holding on, but in learning the art of letting go? Today, you will hear the story of a man who carried the weight of the world on his shoulders until he discovered that true freedom begins when we finally release our burdens. Chapter 1. The Man with the Pack. In a quiet valley surrounded by rolling hills and rivers lived a man named Daniel. He was not old, but life had aged him. His back was bent, his eyes often downcast, and his pace was slow. What caught everyone's attention, however, was the enormous leather pack strapped to his shoulders. This pack was not ordinary. It was filled with stones Daniel had gathered throughout his life. Each stone represented a burden, failures he could not forget, regrets he could not forgive, anger he could not release, promises broken, opportunities lost, fears of what might come. The more life hurt him, the more stones he collected, and so his pack grew heavier with every passing year. Children whispered about him when he passed. Why does he always carry that bag? Doesn't he ever put it down? Adults shook their heads with pity. That man is crushed by his past. He cannot move on. Daniel heard them, but he said nothing. Deep inside, he believed that if he let go of the stones, he would betray his memories. He thought the weight was proof of his suffering, proof that he had lived. Yet every day, the pack grew heavier, and every day, his life grew smaller. Chapter 2. The Weight of Years. Daniel once dreamed of traveling, of seeing mountains beyond the valley, of hearing the ocean waves he had only read about. But whenever he tried to walk beyond the familiar roads, the weight of his pack slowed him. Others walked past him easily, carrying little, their laughter echoing in the wind. Daniel envied them, yet told himself, they don't know responsibility. They don't know what it means to carry life's truth. But secretly, he longed to walk like them, free, unburdened, light. At night, lying in his small room, Daniel often stared at the ceiling and whispered, "Am I doomed to live and die like this? Will I ever be free?" But the next morning, without fail, he strapped the pack back on and carried it into another weary day. Chapter 3. The River Stranger. One afternoon, exhausted and thirsty, Daniel stumbled to the banks of a wide river. There, he found an old woman sitting quietly on the rocks. Her hair was silver, her clothes simple, but her eyes sparkled like sunlight on water. She was weaving a basket from reeds, humming a soft tune. She looked up and smiled warmly. "You look tired, traveler. Why do you carry so much?" Daniel sat heavily on a stone, clutching his pack. "These are mine," he said. "They belong to me." The woman tilted her head. "Do they? Or have you simply chosen to carry them?" Daniel frowned. "I cannot set them down. They are part of who I am." The woman's voice was gentle but firm. "Stones are only heavy when you refuse to release them. You are not your burdens. You are the one who decides whether to hold them or let them go." Daniel's chest tightened. "If I let them go, who will I be?" The woman smiled mysteriously. "Perhaps lighter, perhaps freer, perhaps finally yourself." And with that, she rose, carried her basket, and walked away, leaving Daniel to wrestle with her words. Chapter 4. The First Stone. That night, Daniel could not sleep. Her words echoed in his mind. "You are not your burdens. You are the one who decides." With trembling hands, he opened the pack. He pulled out a stone carved in his memory with the word regret. It reminded him of the time he failed an exam that could have changed his life. For years, he had carried that shame, punishing himself for one mistake. He stared at the stone under the moonlight. "If I release this," he whispered, Will I forget the lesson? Will I dishonor my struggle? But another voice within him answered, if you keep carrying it, you dishonor your future. Daniel stood, walked to the river, and with a shaking arm, placed the stone on the bank. He didn't throw it, didn't smash it. He simply set it down. For the first time in decades, his shoulders felt lighter. A strange calm washed over him. And for the first time, he wondered, what if I could set down more? Chapter 5. The Process of Release. The next morning, Daniel tried again. He reached into the pack and pulled out another stone, etched with anger. This one was heavy, born from betrayal by a friend he once trusted deeply. For years, anger had burned in him like a fire that never went out. He clenched the stone tightly. If I let this go, will justice ever come? Won't they simply get away with what they did? Then he realized something. The friend had long moved on. The only person still burning was Daniel himself. With a long breath, he laid the stone beside the road. The anger slipped away like smoke into the sky. One by one, he released more. Fear of failing again. Shame of mistakes no one else even remembered. Resentment toward those who had hurt him. Each stone left his pack lighter. Each step grew easier. For the first time in years, he could see the horizon without dread. Chapter 6. The Struggle Within. But not every stone came easily. Some clung tightly, whispering in his mind. There was guilt, heavy and sharp, reminding him of how he had disappointed his parents, how he had spoken harshly to his younger brother, how he had missed his chance to say goodbye to a dying friend. There was pride, smooth and cold, warning him that letting go would make him look weak. And there was pain, jagged and cruel, carrying the memory of love lost, of doors closed forever. Daniel sat for hours, holding these stones, tears streaking his face. If I release them, he whispered, will I lose the people too? Will I forget them? But deep in his heart he knew the truth. Letting go did not mean forgetting. It meant choosing peace over endless suffering. Slowly, painfully, he placed each stone down, not to erase, but to release. Chapter 7. Awakening. Weeks turned into months. Daniel's pack grew lighter than he ever thought possible. His back straightened, his steps quickened, his eyes lifted to meet the sky. For the first time, he noticed the laughter of children, the beauty of sunrise spilling gold across the valley, the song of birds in the morning. His neighbors whispered in awe. Daniel smiles now. He walks with ease. He looks younger, stronger. What has happened to him? Inside, Daniel felt reborn. Life had always been beautiful, but he had been too burdened to see it. Chapter 8. The Final Stone. At last, only one stone remained in his pack. It was enormous, heavier than all the others combined. On it was carved a single phrase: fear of letting go itself. Daniel's hands shook as he lifted it. His knees buckled. His mind raced. If I release this, I will have nothing left of my old self. Who will I be without my burdens? He stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking a valley. The wind howled. His heart pounded. And then he realized the old self had never truly been him. It was only the version chained to weight. Beneath the stones, there was always someone freer, someone stronger, someone waiting. With a cry that tore from the deepest part of his soul, Daniel hurled the final stone into the abyss. The echo rolled across the valley, and Daniel collapsed to the ground, empty, trembling, but liberated. Chapter 9. The Freedom of Emptiness. The next morning, Daniel awoke without the pack for the first time in his life. His shoulders felt strange, almost too light. But when he stood, he discovered something miraculous. He could run. He ran down the hill, laughing, his voice echoing through the valley. He felt like a boy again, alive and unchained. He traveled further than he had ever gone. He saw mountains crowned with snow, oceans roaring with power, forests alive with secrets. He met strangers who became friends, shared meals around fires, listened to stories, and created new ones. For the first time, Daniel was living, not surviving, not enduring, but truly living. Chapter 10. The Teacher of Letting Go. Years later, Daniel returned to his town. But he was no longer the bent, weary man with the heavy pack. He was strong, bright-eyed, free. People gathered around him, curious. Travelers came from far away, burdened with their own packs of regret, anger, guilt, and fear. Daniel never forced them. He never told them what to drop. Instead, he shared his story. You are not your burdens. They do not define you. Letting go is not weakness. It is the greatest strength. Life becomes lighter, freer, and richer when you choose to release what no longer serves you. And slowly, one by one, people began to set down their stones. Final reflection. Daniel's journey teaches us timeless truths. Holding on feels safe, but it traps us in the past. Letting go does not erase the lessons, it frees us to use them. Our heaviest burden is often the fear of release itself. Freedom begins the moment we choose peace over pain. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning. Closing message. The art of letting go is the art of living free. Release the stones you carry. Your future is waiting for your lighter steps. Life is too short to be crushed by what you cannot change. Choose freedom. Choose peace. Choose to let go.